Good day, Philippines. Hello, Region 1. Aloha, San Carolinian learners. Airing live from the Mango Bamboo capital of the Philippines, San Carlos City. You're tuning in to CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner, where passion is the key. Learning paves the way. With our division mantra, developing creativity, maximizing versatility. This is your CCN Broadcast Center. CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every SDO-SEC learner.
Masantong agaw utikay namin. Magandang araw mga bata. Good day, dear learners at home. Today is a very good day to learn. I am Julius Delos Santos of Turak National High School, your online teacher for MAPEH 9, particularly in Health 9. Stay tuned to the CCN Broadcasting Center as I bring you interesting and insightful Health 9 subject. Before we start, make sure that you are in a comfortable learning area at home. Don't forget to get a pen and notebook for you to write down important information as we explore and have fun with the lesson. Alright, let us start your journey in learning more about the prevention and control of substance use and abuse. Make yourself ready to learn, explore, and excel for today's lesson. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to discuss the strategies in the prevention and control of substance use and abuse. We also have applied decision-making and resistance skills to prevent substance use and abuse. We have valued the importance of enhancement of knowledge, skills, and attitude in facing and overcoming real-life situations. Our lesson is anchored to the most essential learning competencies in Health 9. Alright, so before we begin our lesson, let us have a short review of what we had discussed yesterday. Alright, so what are the 6 classifications of drugs? Any idea? Alright, very good. The 6 classifications of drugs are 1. Gateway drugs, which include the alcohol and cigarette. 2. We have the depressants, or also known as downers. Number 3. Stimulants, also known as speeders or uppers. Number 4. We have narcotics, or also known as painkillers. Number 5, we have hallucinogens, which create hallucinations. And number 6, we have inhalants. Inhalants are usually found in common household chemical products. Very good. What about the short-term and long-term harmful effects of substance use and drug abuse? Anyone? Alright, very good. So each classification of drugs has different short-term and long-term effects. So when we say short-term effects, they usually last for a couple of days, hours, or even a shorter period of time. While long-term effects can be felt for weeks, months, and even for a lifetime. Okay, so I am sure we can now proceed with the lesson, which is prevention and control of substance use and abuse. Are you ready? Alright. Okay. So to start the lesson, we will have a short activity entitled Match Me. Are you ready, grade 9 students? Again, please get a pen and paper for you to write your answers on. So here is the mechanics. Listed below are the list of protective factor and risk factor of substance use and abuse. Identify the factor, whether it falls under protective factor or risk factor. We have a good reasoning skill, involvement in fights and crimes, feelings of isolation, active participation in sports, easy access to gateway drugs, poor academic performance, clear and consistent family rules, caring and supportive friends, poor implementation of community laws, and strong community advocacy against drugs. I'll give you enough time for you to answer the activity. Okay, so class, were you able to classify the factors presented on the screen? Very good. So presented to you are the risk factors, which increases the chances of using, misusing, and abusing drugs. And they are as follows. We have here poor academic performance, involvement in fights and crimes, feelings of isolation, poor implementation of community laws, and easy access to gateway drugs. We also have protective factors to counterbalance the negative effects of risk factors, and they are as follows. Good reasoning skill, clear and consistent family rules, caring and supportive friends, active participation in sports, and we have strong community advocacy against drugs. All right, so that's an excellent job, my dear students. So we also have the protective factors. Okay, so are these factors still observed within the family, or within school, or within community? Okay, so as you notice in the presentation, there are factors that influence the different domains of life. So we have personal factor, family factor, peer and friends factor, school factor, and even in the community factor. Okay. Okay, so to give you a bigger picture of the lesson, let us study this chart. Presented to you, we have the drugs, drug abuse, drug dependence, and physical dependence, and mental dependence. So this particular lesson focuses on drugs. And based on the definition, drugs are any substance which when taken into the body, either through nasal, oral, and transdermal, it has a psychological, emotional, and behavioral effects on a person. And when these substances used for non-medical purposes, it is already termed as drug abuse. So drug dependence is when substance is taken on a high priority, thereby creating a strong desire to take the substance. So when a person is drug dependent, he or she may tend to experience physical and mental effects. Okay, next. Okay, so let's have a definition of the drug abuse. It says here, drug abuse may be defined as the habitual use of drugs not needed for therapeutic purposes, solely to alter one's mood, affect state of consciousness, or to affect a body function unnecessarily. So therefore, if there is a continuous use of drugs, it can lead to drug dependence, a state of physical and mental dependence. So I'll give you a trivia. The 3 common abuse drugs are shabu, marijuana, and inhalants. That is according to Dangerous Drug Board. That is why our lesson is in the prevention of drug abuse and substance use. So when we say prevention, it is the best way for people like you, grade 9 students who are watching live today, to avoid the use and abuse of drugs. Okay, so what are the strategies in the prevention and control of substance use and abuse? Do you have any idea? Alright, very good. So there are various ways in preventing this. So let's take a look with these preventive factors. We have here personal, family, friends, school, and community. Okay, so what do you think are the protective factors mentioned in the activity a while ago? For the personal, any? Alright, so it's all about the good reasoning skills. And also, we have the positive interaction with people. Very good. What about for the family? Yes, exactly. So the positive relation with the family and clear and consistent family rules. And of course, the strong family values. What about for friends and peers? Any idea? Very good. So the formulation of friends and inviting friends at home to know the family. What about for the school? Very good. By joining extracurricular activities and school organizations like the Supreme Student Government, the interest clubs, and different activities in the school. Okay, what about for the community? Very good. So you have to have the active and positive community programs with the projects like joining the Barangay Liga, the basketball and volleyball tournament, and other youth activities in your respective barangays. So the more protective factors in one's life, the more likely a person is to live a positive and healthy lifestyle, avoiding use of substance, involving to crimes, and facing violence. Okay, so we had mentioned here earlier, again, we have the 5 preventive factors. We have the personal, family, friends, school, and community. So how will these factors affect your decision making? Okay, so the Dangerous Drugs Board, in cooperation of the Department of Health, offers treatment and rehabilitation programs to Filipinos who become ill because of drug abuse. And also, there is also a requirement for that, such as drug dependency examination through your City Anti-Drug Abuse Council or CADAC. So we have here the prevention and drug control of drug abuse. We have causes of drug-taking behavior. We have sources of illicit drugs, the drug laws, the treatment programs, and community organizing skills. We also have here the persistence and cooperation of various individuals and agencies. We also have here the education, the treatment, the public policies, sports and hobbies, the programs, and projects. So treatment can also be voluntary, meaning to say that the drug dependent is willing to be admitted, or it could be voluntary through representations. And take note, we have different agencies that help us in prevention and control of drug abuse. We have here PDEA, we have the LGUs of your respective community, and the Dangerous Drugs Board. So in Department of Education, this topic can also be taught in some subjects like in values education, for values restoration and strengthening family ties, and even in Araling Panlipunan when dealing with human interaction or the sociology. So remember, this is a shared responsibility. Okay, so let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to make a tough decision? Okay, so yes, I believe all of us have been through it. So depending on the cases. So in making a decisions, there should be a step or procedure, just like in your science subject, in solving a problem, or simply the usage of the scientific method. Okay, so let's take a look with the decision-making skills. Let's take a look with the step number 1. Describe the situation you are in. Okay, so you can better describe the situation by writing it on a piece of paper. You can also say it aloud several times. For the step number 2, list all the possible actions for the solution. So in here, don't worry about listing the not so good ones. Anyway, you can eliminate them onwards. What about for step number 3? Share your list with responsible adults. Make sure that this person has not been associated with no drug users. Okay? For step number 4, carefully evaluate all possible solutions. So in here, there should be a proper communication to experts. Ask yourself if the actions will protect and promote healthy results, and if it does not violate any laws and policies in the community and in the school. Okay, so what about for the step number 5? Choose which action is most responsible and suitable. So after questioning all the question actions, choose the most responsible and suitable action for the situation. And for the step number 6, act responsibly and intelligently. Do not stop evaluating the action. Again, so these are the 6 steps in decision-making skills. If you practice these steps in decision-making, then I am pretty sure that you will have a strong and positive results of your decision. Okay, what about this one? The resistance skills. How will you refuse if someone asks you to do something? Well, there is actually ways on how to do the resistance skills. We have 3 steps here. The first one, we have ask yourself, what is the problem? Just simply say, that is wrong. Or drugs are bad. Or drugs are prohibited. Or drugs are against the law and school rules. Step number 2, what could happen? So you have to ask the following. Could anyone be harmed if I do it? How will they harm? Could it get you into trouble? By whom? Would it make you feel bad if you do it? So these are the possible questions that you may ask for the resistance skills. Okay, so what about this one? Step number 3. What are the ways of saying no? We have here, say no. You simply say no. I'm not interested. Or second one, we have the change the topic. You can always change the topic by saying, I'm going to the park. You can come with me. Or simply tell the truth. You say, I hate drugs. It destroys dreams. Or, I'm too young to die. Or, joke about it. You simply say, are you really ready to die? And give a reason. Let's say, you can say, I don't do drugs because it is bad for the health. Or you may also say a story. You know what? My friend died of drugs. He's only 15 years old and it was so painful. I don't want that to happen to me. You can say that. And you can also walk away if you can change your friend's mind. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so let's have an activity. Are you ready? Alright, so I guess you are all ready to have the activity. So what are you going to do with the activity? First, the question is, what will you do? You have to apply the decision-making and resistance skills to the following situations. Are you ready? Okay, so let me check. How will you react to this situation? Okay, I will here are the drug scenarios, decision stories. Scenario number 1. While walking home from the school, a stranger approaches you and offers something. He says, it smells good, tastes good, and it will really help you improve your studies and school performance. So how will you react to this situation? Very good. So by using the knowledge and skills you have learned in the lesson, you can say no and be honest that you do not want to try it. What about for the scenario number 2? One day, while walking down the school corridor, you notice that your classmate brings out a small plastic with dried weeds. He is selling the drugs to some students. And you know that this kid is a known bully. And anyone who gets in him will mean trouble. How will you react to this particular scenario? Anyone? Okay, so you can report to the school authorities like the teacher, the guidance counselor, the head teachers, or the school principal. What about for the scenario number 3? You are having a review at the house of one of your classmates. The parents are not there to supervise your activity. While reviewing, one of your classmates opens a bottle of wine and a cigarette. So everybody drinks and smoke. You are also asked to do it for you to be able to experience it. So how will you react to this situation? Okay, very good. So you have the choice not to try or simply refuse the challenge. Alright, so based on your actions, you have a very good decision-making skills in giving actions to these particular scenarios because you really analyze and critiques the problems and that of resistance skills to the following situations. I believe you can now apply this knowledge in a real life situation. Okay. Another question is why is it important to know the right decision making and resistance skills in controlling the effects of substance use and abuse? Okay, it is very important so that you will be free from its harmful effects and of course be able to refuse temptations. Okay. Okay, so I am sure we can now ready for the assessment. Okay, so it's quiz time. So here is the general directions. Choose the letter of the correct answer and write it on your answer sheet. Don't forget to get a pen and a notebook for you to write down your answer to the following questions. We will check your answers right away. Okay, question number 1. It refers to the best way to avoid use and abuse of drugs. A. Decision making. B. Prevention. C. Protection. D. Resistance. Okay, time is up. The correct answer is letter B. Prevention. So, did you get the correct answer? Very good. Okay. Second question. Which of the following is not an effect of drug use and abuse on the family? Letter A. High incidence of crime. Letter B. Dishonor and embarrassment. Letter C. Separation. And letter D. Broken family ties. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A. High incidence of crime. Good job. Okay, let's proceed to the question number 3. Which shows an effect to school performance due to drug use? Letter A. Affected economy due to manpower production. Letter B. Ignored duties and responsibilities. Letter C. Incidents of disrespect to school authorities. And letter D. Financial constraint due to drug dependence. Time is up. The correct answer is letter C. Incidents of disrespect to school authorities. Alright, about now. Question number 4. Which of the following statement is the best way of saying no if a friend is offering you a drug? Is it letter A? No, I'm not interested. Or letter B? I hate drugs. It destroys dreams. Or letter C? I don't do drugs. It is bad for the health. Or letter D? All of the given. Alright, time is up. The correct answer is letter D. All of the given. Okay, for the final question. Which does not show a protective factor needed to fight drug use and abuse? Is it letter A, positive outlook in life? Or letter B, having irresponsible adult role models? Or letter C, caring and supportive friends? Or letter D, a sense of worthiness and achievement? Time is up. The correct answer is letter B, having a responsible adult role models. Okay, so how many of you got 5? Excellent! What about 4? How many of you got 4? Very good! What about 3? Who got 3? Good job! What about who got 2? Okay, so you need to learn more. What about who got 1? Okay, so you have to study harder so that you can still improve your score. Okay, so that's it. For your assignment, we have the collage making. We have the materials, art materials, the illustration board or cartolina, old magazines or brochure, pair of scissors, and glue. So how will you make it? 1. You will create a collage showing in detail on decision-making skills and resistance skills. In number 2, write an explanation about your collage. So this part of the activity will give you a chance to show what you can do after learning this module. Okay. So here's the reference. We have Doria Josepi et al. On 2014 Physical Education and Health Grade 9 Learners Materials in the Philippines. Okay. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much again, grade 9 students, for joining us here in the CCN Broadcasting Center here at San Carlos City Division. I hope you gained new knowledge from our lesson today. If you still have queries, feel free to communicate to your teachers through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WeChat, or any communicating apps available to you. Again, this is Julius B. Delos Santos saying, always make a difference. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Good day, Philippines. Hello, Region 1. Aloha, San Carlinian learners. Airing live from the mango bamboo capital of the Philippines, San Carlos City. You're tuning in to CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every STO-SEC learner, where passion is the key. Learning paves the way. With our division mantra, developing creativity, maximizing versatility. This is your CCN Broadcast Center. CCN Broadcast Center, a virtual home of every STO-SEC learner.